Tony Dungy, kind enough to stay with us. Spent some time with Peyton Manning, Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. But I know you have to do your job at NBC, but part of your job is to analyze and critique Peyton Manning. How does that go? How comfortable are you doing that now as opposed to, say, 4 years, 5 years ago?
Well, I'm fairly comfortable because I had to do that when I coached them. It's no different, you know.
Yeah, but you didn't have 18 million people watching you critique Peyton.
That's true. There were private conversations. But, you know, that throw in the Baltimore playoff game where he goes and throws across his body and throws an interception, that is, you know, that's not a good play in that situation. And you got to say that, whether it's in the meeting room or on NBC TV.
All right, the Dallas game yesterday. Full disclosure, we're watching, and Tony says Romo's going to lead him down to victory. And I said Romo's going to throw a pick. Next play, he throws the pick. What made you believe that Romo was going to lead him down to victory?
I just felt he would. Green Bay doesn't have a great defense. They only needed a field goal. It wasn't like they needed to go 70 yards to win. You just need about 45 yards in that situation. I just felt like they would.
Cowboys lost that game because of what?
Not playing smart down the stretch. They're up. They didn't run DeMarco Murray enough in the second half. And Jason Garrett, we talked about it on the show. He's trying to explain what happens. What happens in that situation, the audible that ended up being the first interception. They go to the line of scrimmage. They have a running play call. If he sees a certain defense, instead of audibling, he just throws the ball out to Miles Austin one-on-one. Doesn't tell anybody else. They had done it a lot. They've done it all year. But in that situation, you've got to say, you know what, that plan is out. We're running the ball no matter what. We're using the clock. We're forcing them to use their timeouts. There is no option to throw it. We're not going to give you that option, quarterback. And that's where Jason Garrett, to me, didn't do a good job yesterday.
Okay, here's Jason Garrett. Do we have that clip, Jason Garrett talking about the play where Romo throws the pick? Here's the Cowboys coach.
The idea was to run the ball, make them use clock, run it, and if we throw it, throw high percentage passes to keep the clock going and make them use their timeouts. Tony threw a pass on what we call it a smoke or a flash. Is something we have accompanying some runs if he gets a bad look, and that's what happened on the interception. It was a run call, though, that he threw the ball on.
Okay, it goes back to what you just said.
Yes, all that is true, but don't blame it on Tony Romo now. He had done it. That's what he was told to do. That's what he was okay with. That's what they approved. As a coach, you've got to say that plan is out now in the last 4 minutes.
You can't give him an alternative. You can't give him, like you just say that if it's not there, we're not going to gain any yards running, but we're going to run the ball. Yes. We're not throwing the football.
Yeah. That's what you have to do in that situation. And I'll say this, Dan, I've been in that situation. I've had Peyton Manning come off to me when we're ahead 8 points in Cincinnati and say, I know they had the look, and it was my fault for not orchestrating that before.
What, he would throw an interception?
No, he didn't. No, he wouldn't throw interceptions. No.
Jay Cutler coming back. I thought McCown was the right guy for them. I thought he gave them a better chance. Cutler ended up looking bad early, and he looked good later. But to me, once they made the commitment to Cutler, this is your commitment in the future. This wasn't just for this game or the next 3 games.
Absolutely. This was the Chicago Bears deciding if we get in the playoffs, Jay Cutler gives us a chance to win and go to the Super Bowl. Jay Cutler can do these things that make us a better offense. So we're going to play him no matter what, and he's going to be our quarterback of the future. So once you make that call, he throws 2 interceptions. You can't say, oh, well, let's put McCown back in. No, you've said we're giving Jay a chance to win the games, and to his credit, he came back and won it for him.
Let's look at the NFC North. Do you think Aaron Rodgers plays against Pittsburgh?
I think Aaron Rodgers definitely plays, and I think they have a great shot to win. If Detroit doesn't win tonight, I think we're going to see Green Bay and Chicago playing for the division title the last week of the season.
So Detroit's got Baltimore.
I think the pressure is all over Detroit tonight.
And I wonder how they handle pressure here. Baltimore, obviously, the defending Super Bowl champs, so they go in there. I would expect that they're, EKG flatlines, that they're ready for something like this. Detroit, I'm not quite sure what I get. They're either real high, real low, real good, real bad.
There's so much emotion and energy. Monday night at home, that whole deal anyway. And now you've got this, hey, we've got Green Bay. They're winning. Chicago's winning. This is our game. We don't want to have it come down to the last couple of weeks. We're playing the defending champs. We're going to have to outscore them. Their defensive line should step up and make things happen, but this is going to be on Stafford to play really well and to score points.
Can you imagine Rodgers coming back, and then they got Pittsburgh and then Chicago. In Chicago, final game of the regular season.
But you won a couple games with Tom Flynn and
Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn. I'm sorry, with Matt Flynn, and then you're sitting there saying, if we can get Aaron back, how much better is our offense going to be? And I just think Detroit's going to win tonight, but I think there's going to be tremendous pressure on them.
Can you bench Eli Manning?
I don't think you can. He's got to play better. There's no question.
If he doesn't have 2 Super Bowl rings, he's benched.
Well, but he does. He does have 2 Super Bowl rings.
I know, but I have to. Like, at what point do you say that? Like, Mike Shanahan's got a couple of Super Bowl rings. That doesn't mean he's not going to be fired.
Yeah, but you've got to go forward with Eli Manning. You know he's got to be your quarterback down the road. And I don't think you do the RG3 thing. We're going to sit you down to protect your health or get you ready for next year. Eli, you got to play better. We've got to get a team around you. But you can't give any indication that he's not your quarterback going forward.
Best team in the NFC is Seattle.
Without question. The AFC, I don't know who is the best team. All these top teams have flaws. I could see somebody. I think it's very, very important for Cincinnati, Indy to keep playing, get that number 3 seed, because the 1 and 2 seeds could get upset. Just like our year in 2006, we were the 3 seed. We ended up playing the championship game at home. This is a year where you don't know who's going to win in the AFC.
Yeah, I keep waiting for the Bengals to step up.
They need it. I was so disappointed last night. You got everything riding on it. You're playing your arch rivals, and they came out not ready for the energy that Pittsburgh brought. You just can't have that happen in a big game.
He's Tony Dungy from Football Night America. Tony, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks,
we appreciate
Dave.
it. McLovin, update the poll results.
Is Tony Romo a good quarterback, a great quarterback, or an average quarterback? Actually, good quarterback is winning.
Okay.
Average second.
I think he's good.
Potential second? Wow.
I think he's good, potential to be great, but he prevents himself from being great. But I don't put all of this on him. But sometimes when your team is bad, your quarterback can be great, and that's the difference. I keep waiting for Tony to be great in December and maybe be great in January. But it's not all on him. That's a bad defense. But 26-3 at home against a backup quarterback. There's no excuse for that.
No. And then you can't have your star wide receiver leave the game before it's over. That's another symptom of what's wrong there.
Would you bench him?
Well, it would have never got to that.
With Des Bryant?
Yeah. I mean, they had to do something before when he's having sideline explosions and fighting with assistant coaches and other. That's when you got to stop it.
Yeah, I know. I heard from everybody saying, you don't get passion. He's passionate. All right, what was he yesterday then, folks? He was petulant is what he was.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.